brings us to our 6.3. Presentation of proclamation designating the month of September 2025 as National Recovery Month in Lake County. Vice Chair Rasmussen will be reading this proclamation.
And anybody that's here for National Recovery Month, come on up.
If you're here for it, yeah, please come up and join Vice Chair Rasmussen.
Up here?
Yes.
Hello. Come all the way back.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Love it.
Be a big day. This is. That's a real one.
You can absolutely use that to whatever you need.
This is a proclamation designating the month of September 2025 as National Recovery Month in Lake County. Whereas Recovery Month recognizes the strong and proud recovery community, the dedication of service providers and community members in Lake County who assist and support individuals from prevention services to recovery. And whereas Lake County Behavioral Health Services provided substance use disorder services to 437 participants, Hilltop Recovery Services provided 321 residential treatment beds and provided outpatient treatment to 23 clients. Redwood Community Services Thule House provided residential treatment services to 43 women and 18 children, and they also provided outpatient services to one client. And whereas Lake County Behavioral Health Services provided mental health service to 1,751 individuals, Mobile Crisis Unit provided service to 822 individuals during the calendar year 2024. And whereas nationally, 28.2 million people in the United States experienced a substance use disorder, and 27.9 million people had an alcohol use disorder, while 21.2 million experiences both substance use disorder and mental health disorders. And whereas 7 in 10 adults who have substance use disorder consider themselves recovering or in recovery, and 2 in 3 adults who have mental health disorders consider themselves recovering or in recovery. And whereas through promotion of Recovery Month, people from all walks of life are encouraged to become knowledgeable about what they can do to create a healthier tomorrow for themselves and others by helping to prevent these problems today. And whereas recovery is possible and treatment is effective, people in recovery can and do become gainfully employed, own homes, follow their dreams, and rejoin their families and their communities. Whereas the Lake County Board of Supervisors and Lake County Behavioral Health Services, Substance Use Disorder Services, Mental Health Services, Hilltop Recovery Services, Redwood Community Services, SafeRx, Hope Rising, and Lake County Health Services urges all citizens, families, governmental agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, healthcare, education systems in Lake County to support efforts that will increase community awareness, understanding, and action to address substance use disorder and mental health conditions in our community. Now, therefore, the Board of Supervisors for the County of Lake join with the Lake County Department of Behavioral Health Services and hereby proclaim that September 2025 is National Recovery Month in Lake County, passed and adopted this 26th day of August, and signed by our Chair of the Board, E.J. Crandall. Thank you. And I just want to reiterate that I think our behavioral health is doing a good job, or a great job as a leader in this area, but this is really a collaboration with many agencies, many people, and many partnerships, and I think that's what makes our county very successful. And just Saturday I had the opportunity to stop at the overdose awareness event and was again impressed to see virtually all the partner agencies that I'm aware of that were there together to provide service for the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Hi, I'm Elise Jones. I'm the Director of Lake County Behavioral Health, and I am just standing here feeling incredibly proud of the people that are standing behind me. Proud of our county, and I agree with Supervisor Rasmussen that the collaboration truly is our superpower. And it's kind of interesting to reflect on recovery, because this county has had to do a lot of recovering. I don't know if you all know, but we've had some fires, and it's a joke, guys. So that forced us to collaborate. And I'm a horror movie fan, and one of the premises for a lot of horror movies is that the grid fails and the system collapses and breaks down. And that happened in Lake County multiple times. Myself, I was, I think, without power for 6 days, maybe 7 days, and even decided to thug it out without a generator. And no calamity ensued. I mean, I'm not going to diminish the impact of those experiences on vulnerable populations. And my experience living in Lake County was that people were here to support each other, and it was pretty calm and peaceful for the most part. So those experiences, I think, have placed us in a unique position to move the needle on some of our social determinant of health issues. And if you don't know what that is, social determinants of health are factors in society that influence health, basically. A big one is income, if you're poor or rich, right? Another one is sometimes where you live, your neighborhood, and the list goes on and on. And so we've definitely had some challenges in this county, but listening to the numbers that were in the proclamation, which I hadn't reviewed actually thoroughly before I stood here today, I am 99% sure that if you were to look back 2 or 5 years ago, those numbers would be a lot smaller. The visibility that we have with our community, the ability to reach more individuals has been a leap of faith in many forms because of California advancing and innovating Medi-Cal, if you want to know. And so that's what caused the dramatic increase in services. It's been a gauntlet of policy review, program development, and it's been incredibly painful, to be honest with all of you. But I am so grateful that I was placed in a position of leadership to be able to see this thing through and make sure that we expand services to every vulnerable individual in Lake County who needs them. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori Carter-Runyon, Executive Director and co-founder of Hilltop Recovery Services. A minute ago, my husband had mentioned the 20 years ago when we were here with those Board of Supervisors numerous times, we were fighting for treatment and for substance use, and it was a lot different. I just got back from the Department of Healthcare Services SUD conference, and I have to tell you, I've been screaming for a voice for us to be heard for so many years. It used to be battling against behavioral health. Now it's with behavioral health, and I had the pleasure of hearing numerous times Lake County being talked about as far as the differences they're making and what they're doing. One of my biggest things that I've been yelling about is our small rural communities not being heard. And for the first time in all the years that I've been going, I felt that Lake County is being heard, and this is part of the example of that. I've got 28 years in recovery, so when they talk about the fact of people being, employed and everything else, it is the truth. It is, people like us do recover, my children have all gone to school here and own homes and work here and not had to live through the disease of addiction. Instead, they're living in the life of recovery. And all of us can do that. I mean, all of us can make that happen with commitment. And this team that they've had at Behavioral Health now, I talked to Elise quite a few times, and she said to me one day, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm going to do the best I can while I am. And it was so down to earth and real, and it's made the difference in the relationships. I mean, in working together. I mean, I've been able to work with more of the team and the community again, now that COVID hasn't happened, and which really did make some differences. And I'm just grateful. I mean, there has been some great changes, lots of, difficulties and processes. And again, as she mentioned, the fires. When we had to evacuate again last year, which we've also evacuated again this year, we're really good at that, by the way. We had 3 or 4 people at the local JC doing some of their, for their high school diplomas. I had to call behavioral health, and they got the people to me so we could all evacuate together. That is something I would have never been able to do before, and that is part of the things that, in a small community, working together is very different. I mean, to know that I could call the behavioral health team. And this last time, we just evacuated again a couple weeks ago, I wasn't available. I was actually outside doing yard work, and scary thing is April managed to get a hold of me through my daughter, through my Ring camera, of all things, talking to my grandson in the house, so that's how they got to me. But she made the decision to tell my staff to go ahead and evacuate at the time until they got in touch with me, and said she hoped she wasn't overstepping her bounds, but I said, no, thank you. I was grateful, and that's what the difference with this great team has, and our recovery, and hope. I have a new hope. I mean, the people that are leading it aren't afraid to share that they too, have been a part of this process. So thank you to the Board of Supervisors for supporting us in this journey. Thank you for, all of you for finding your path into recovery. It's a much better path. And some of you know, I've known for years, Carrie, been here from the beginning. So I appreciate it, and I'm grateful today.
My name is Richie Okino. I work for Behavioral Health, specifically with the youth. I wanted to share, touch on, we do recover, right? I think that people that are in recovery, they actually have more transferable skills than the average person coming out of high school. They actually know how to survive. We spoke a little bit about this at the DHCS conference. And in my experience as an assistant manager at McDonald's of all places, right, what I seen, people that were even on drugs while at McDonald's were good workers, right? When they were working. But the people that do recover, in my experience, have been great workers, right? They'll stay longer. They'll go the extra mile, right? Because they're just grateful to be having a paycheck and not having to live the way they used to live, worrying about where they were going to sleep at. That's if you are a tweaker like me. But that's neither here nor there. The other thing I want to talk about is the collaboration, right? And so I'm here to speak about the youth, right? And so when we think about that, she said Lori mentioned that she raised her kids in recovery, right? What I'm seeing every day within the school districts and the school systems, I just did a youth group yesterday. There was 4 kids in this youth group, and they're 7th and 8th graders, and they were explaining to me that, they have friends where their parents are the ones that are getting them drunk, right? So when we think about this, kids all through Memorial and time, people have wanted to use substances, right? But I think we are in a time where they have access to the internet, whatever they want to see, whatever they want to do. If you are learning these behaviors from your parents, and I know some of you parents, I don't know, maybe nobody here, but hopefully on Zoom and somebody rewatches this, you're the problem. The parents are the problems in my experience, and what I'm hearing from the kids, it's them that are smoking weed with their kids, giving them vapes to go to school to sell for a side hustle. These are all things that is a problem, and that's called transgenerational drug use, people. And if all we really got to do is look at, the Native American community, they know all about that. And when we go deeper into each population, unfortunately, they are hit the hardest. But I'm here to basically urge everybody who thinks that, it's a rite of passage to get drunk at 10th or 11th grade. That is that might be normal in your community, but nowadays when people get drunk and you say, I only want you to get drunk in my backyard, there's a party all of a sudden and there's a really fine girl that they want to go see, and now they're leaving to that party. Or you think that they're not going to go get drunk there? You think that they're not going to go get drunk and make dumb decisions? And now, unfortunately, forever since time, it's just a fact. People end up doing cocaine. Now you have a possibility of dying, right? 17, 18-year-old, super drunk, inebriated. They make dumb decisions, and now they're doing a line of cocaine that is not cocaine, and then they die, right? Or they take an Adderall because they've been watching on their For You page that this is what people are doing, right? And then they die. So really, from my experience working in the last 3 years, from my experience of my parents actually smoking meth with me, parents are the problem. Right? And so you might think that you're not the problem because you're, I'm going to say it, you're white, upper middle class, or you're like got everything going on with yourself, and this is just the normal behavior. That is not normal. So you're putting your kids at risk, and I said this last time I had the mic up here, that is a form of child abuse. Okay? We all talk about how we're all about the kids, even politicians from the state to the government, right? We all talk about for the kids until it's time to pass a policy. They don't want to pass that policy because the people that they want to pass the policy on, i.e. tobacco industry, i.e. cannabis industry, i.e. alcohol industry, they got a really, really smart scientist to pay a lot of money to go down there and lobbyists to block people's laws, right? And they're like, well, I can't pass that test because they're going to pay me $5 million on my next time that I need to be the next time that I need to actually be voted in, right? And so that's the problem. That is the problem we see. And those three industries, I didn't mention the pharmaceutical industries, they're the people that are running the world. It's not the Republicans, it's not the Democrats, the people that are running the world are the people that got billions and billions of dollars to go block these policies. There's no reason why we need to have a vape pen in a hoodie. Okay, there's no reason that I should have a car alarm that beeps like I actually have a damn car and I'm a 19-year-old and there's a weed pipe in there, there's a weed vape in there. There's no reason for that. So those are the things, right? And I'm pro weed. You're an adult. You want to smoke weed? That's you. But when when you're saying this, it's not good, right? Because our kids are listening. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Anyone from the board would like? Oh, there you go. Please.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw out there, we do have Recovery Happens coming up later this month. And I'm trying to double check the date. I believe it's September 20th.
No, 13th.
13th, sorry, I was off.
10 to 3
10 to 3 p.m. and there is free lunch available and it'll be a great event for everyone who wants to join us.
Anyone else from? All right, I'm going to go ahead and mention something because you brought up something about Native Americans, and I appreciate that. And I'd like to basically give a synopsis on trauma in a global aspect. But when you look at it at the Native American aspect, the alcoholism mainly was the derivative of the transgenerational alcoholism. I have to say that those were developed by the United States because they put the natives on reservations and gave them alcohol as a medicine. Then within some years later, they took the alcohol and told them that they couldn't have it, which, of course, prohibition times, you go through that. Then you get boarding schools, then you have self-medication. So you have to look at that, but regardless, when you go into different cultures, different countries, different areas, and then even in the United States, humans deal with trauma the same. So, I'm glad that, I am Native American. I like to mention that, and I like talking about it, but I like to relate everything to the human nature of things because I have friends and family friends that are non-native that deal with it the same. No matter what it is, and it all ends up to a point where alcohol doesn't do the job anymore. So a lot of people go to meth or something harder to make sure that they get that. So anyone here that is recovering, I tell you, a lot of these, there's a lot of ailments that will happen. There's things that will happen, and you're going to be faced with that challenge. And we're meant to go through these feelings. And that's the main thing that puts people to the point of going back, recidivism. But you have to fight through that, and you'll see it's a wave. You need to ride that wave, and you'll feel better about the rewards that come with it. Once you get to a point that you've invested all this time into your sober living and your recovery, what you're going to see is you're not going to want to lose that investment. So anyone that's listening that is going through recovery, please ride the wave for the rewards.
Richie, you know I love you. When you grab the microphone, it's like a mystery roller coaster ride at times. I want to share appreciation for everybody that's here. Yes, recovery does happen. I think what we don't say, and I want to mention it, is thank you for being there for those people that stumble. Because people do roll back. It happens for everything. Whether it's the most important thing you need to change in your life or the smallest thing you want to change in your life. But you guys don't judge. You guys are there to begin with, and you guys are there for the second and third and fourth try, and thank you for being there.
And you said no one on Zoom. Or is there anyone in the chambers that would like to come up and talk about this proclamation? All right. Not hearing any, we'll go ahead and close this item. And I know that Sam is going to want to take a picture, so let's come on up.
Tell us where to go.
You're small.
Everybody be able to be seen. So that means you guys need to go.
Make sure you get Nancy.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.